I was diagnosed in December 2014, after I had realized that I was bloating and had a lot of fluid in me. And I have a gynecologist who I love dearly, where I used to work before, where I used to live before, about an hour away. First thing I did was call her, and she said, you better get in and get an ultrasound and see what's going on. And so they did diagnose it through the peritoneal fluid that was withdrawn, that it was primary peritoneal cancer. And that's where it all started, because my gynecologist wanted to make sure it wasn't any kind of metastasis from any other cancer, because I am a 25-year breast cancer survivor. I am positive for the BRCA1 gene. We are now in our 5th generation of BRCA positive ladies, from my grandmother who died, my mother who died, myself, my daughter, and my granddaughter are all positive for the BRCA gene. So of course I took this very serious, and within a week I was at a gynecologist oncologist. I had my central line in, and I had started chemo. So from that point, we did 6 months of chemo. Then we did surgery, which was called a debulking, where they literally debulk your abdominal cavity. They did an omentectomy, removing my omentum, because the CAT scan did show caking on the omentum, which is like tumors starting. And the doctor did 19 biopsies along with lymph nodes, and there were no signs of cancer with those biopsies, or physically that he could see. And then we did 6 months of chemo afterwards. And that brought us into, I guess it was like the next year by then. And everything, during this time, every month I would have my CA-125, that blood again drawn and checked. And those numbers originally started 1800, and 35 or less is considered normal. So each month of the chemotherapy, my numbers were dropping. And I got down to a normal number of 28, I think it was. Then within 2 months, it went back up again to 1400. So that led us to believe that there's something else going on. And ultrasound did show more, they didn't call it a mass, they called it like tumors adjacent to different organs, and they were measurable in size, but not huge. So then we started chemotherapy again, and then the number still rose. So then I took a oral medication called Lynparza, which is a new medicine, a fairly new medicine, which was specifically for BRCA positive patients. But before you could take the Lynparza, you had to fail 3 chemos. So that's another thing, the FDA kind of decides who does what. So for 7 months, I took 16 pills a day at an astronomical amount of money. Thank God I didn't have to pay it. And that lasted for 7 months. My numbers stayed down, and then it went back up again. So then I'm back on chemo again. So I started a chemo. One was called Doxil. It's a little stronger, which caused my feet and hands to blister, which meant there was a problem going on with that, a reaction, so they stopped that. And now I'm on 2 chemo agents, and my last CA-125 was 1,000, went up from 800. So that's where I'm at in my treatment.